Isla is a very smart and curious dog, which leads to her being pretty easily distracted by the environment and what's going on in it, and pretty impulsive as well. So she picks stuff up pretty quick, but when something catches her attention outside, she sometimes has a hard time remembering what she's supposed to be doing or focusing. So I want to demonstrate a couple of the ways that we can help her out if we need her to do something or we ask her to do something and she's having a hard time figuring out what we want because there's too much else going on around. Great. So we have a couple options. First of all, we want to make sure that we actually have her attention, right? Because if she's out there not looking at me and I ask for a sit or a down, I'm not going to expect her to do it. She's not even looking at me. So I first want to get her attention, and I can just say her name. I'll do a couple repetitions of just saying her name and a warning. Isla. Isla. Yes. Yes. So I'll say her name once. When she looks at me, yes, I'll mark with yes, and then I'm actually going to give a couple of her words in a row. So I'm not just going to say Isla, 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 right? I want to ask her once, she gives me attention, I'm saying, yeah, that's good, I want that. And then I'm going to reward her keeping her attention with me, you know? So I'm not going to keep asking. I'm going to reward that duration of paying attention for just a couple times until I know that she's interested in looking at me, interested in working with me. Isla, yes. And I can use my body motion to get her more in touch with me, more interested in me, make myself a little bit more exciting compared to the environment. I know, yes, right? I'll move, and that's just a little more enticing for her, yes, than if I'm just standing in one spot. She's like, well, I'd rather go see those dogs or those other people. I know, yes. So I want to make sure that when I reward, yes, I'm actually giving her something worthy of her attention. Now, once I have her attention, that's when I can start to ask her to do something for me. So I can ask for, hey, Isla, sit, right? Good. Or, when she's done chewing, good girl. Isla, down. Good. And you see there, she struggled to do down just on verbal. So I helped her out with one of the ways that we can help her. And so one of the ways that we can help when we ask for a cue, a behavior, and they're not certain what we want just on verbal alone, is we can help with a hand motion, like a physical signal. And so for down, that would just be going down. And so what I'll do is I'll ask for a down. If she's like, okay, I'm not really sure what you want, I'm going to say, okay, I'll help you out here. I'm going to say down, and then I'm going to show you what I mean by down. Again, I don't want to be saying the word and making the motion at the same time, because she's just going to block out the verbal, and I want her to be good on the verbal. So what I'll do is I'll say the verbal first, and then I'll show her, hey, in your language, this is what this means. Right? Good. And then I can tell her, good, I can reward for staying. She gets bored pretty quick, and so sometimes initially in a new place, that staying part will be kind of hard for her. She wants to just get up and check stuff out. She kind of forgets that she's supposed to stay. And so what I just did there, if you saw, is I did the other way we can help her out, which isn't a physical like hand signal, but it's using the leash. So I'm using the leash to guide her back down. And I like to do that when they break stays, because I'm kind of like, hey, you're not getting a reward for this. I'm not asking you to down again. You were supposed to be staying in a down. So I'm going to show you, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be getting up. You're not going to get a reward for going back down. You should just keep doing that, or I'm going to make you go back into that position. Isla, break. If she's really distracted, isn't focusing on her hand signal, then we can do leash pressure just from the very start. Go down, she doesn't listen, do leash pressure. Just downward, and then we're going to stand back up. So I'm not going to stay down there for very long. I want it to be a quick movement. Good. Break. Right. Even if I'm doing a hand signal, I want it to be a quick movement. Isla. Yes. So I'll do down, motion, and then back. All right, I'm not gonna stay down there, have her get distracted, have her come get in my face. Good girl. I wanna be very quick. Good. You can see she kind of sits in a position where she's almost ready to pop back up again. So I'm gonna wait until she pops her hip out. And then I'm gonna let her hang out for a little while so she gets back to that position. I don't necessarily want to reward her with YES in these situations because that is kind of encouraging her to anticipate jumping up and being really quick. I would rather tell her BREAK, which means she's getting up, she's not getting a reward. Nope. She's probably gonna have to do a couple more things. So it's less exciting for her to get up. You know, she's not anticipating getting up for a big treat, a big show. She's just like, oh, we're gonna get up and do something kind of boring. Right. Isla, down. Good. Good. And free. Good girl. So again, our options are either a hand signal or we can do leash pressure. Down. Good. See, I didn't even have to go all the way down. Just a little tug downward and she understands. Good. Break. Down. Good. And see, we did a couple reps of that, and now she's like, oh yeah, I remember what down is. I know what that means. So if you start a session 2 and you find that she's struggling, do a couple reps where you're helping her out. You know, a couple reps of, here's the word, here's what I mean. You know, hand signal, leash pressure. Okay, now let's see if you can do it just on verbal alone. Break. Isla. Good.